Come on down. You're the next contestant on Price is Right Wrestling. And with this and next week's edition taped and already in the can, get ready for lots and lots and lots and lots of dubbed in crowd noise. So much dubbed in crowd noise. Creative simply throwing up their hands and saying, men, women, we don't care what you do in the ring or backstage. Just say whatever, do whatever. We'll cobble these shows together because we're on tour, so we don't really care how these shows come across. Just fuck it. We're throwing in the proverbial towel. It's Creative Control City, bitch. Whoo! I'm John Renton with my review of WWE NXT 2.0. So yeah, they're on a live tour of Florida. That's certainly drawing people. It's not drawing that many people. If you've seen any of the pictures, holy fucking shit, it's like they're all taking place in broom closets. But nevertheless, they're back out on tour since just before the pandemic hit. So yeah, there wasn't a lot to this show. There were a couple things I didn't mind, and then there was a debut that they had on a tape show for some reason after hyping it for a while. And they also had somebody on a bouncy ball because apparently wrestling isn't in the dirt enough in WWE. Already in the ring, Slam Us Ryan, the NXT Tag Team Championship action. The Creeds versus Idris Enofe and Malik Blade, aka Team BBC. Not bad. It was speed versus power, though Enofe and Blade did show off their own power. The Creeds have that raw, untapped potential that it's going to carry them far. They have that natural, just, insane strength where they can just throw people at one point. Julius just picked up, I believe it was Enofe, and just kept holding him, and then just eventually just threw him. And that's that is uncoachable fucking strength. But it wasn't bad. It did get a little bit awkward at the end, but certainly not a bad pace. And the sitting lariat, 1, 2, 3. The Creeds win. They shake the hands of Enofe and Blade. And there you go. And then we get a little something with Blade and Enofe a little bit later on. Then Cora, Roxanne, and Indy are talking backstage. And Indy says, I remember having friends and a boyfriend and stuff like that. And I hope that this is actually just her, just doing this stuff for a character. And not her actually being upset. But I think she's probably pretty upset about Persia Parada being released. I don't remember Persia's actual name, so I'm just going to go with that. I wouldn't blame her because apparently they're friends, but nevertheless, they say, you're not a third wheel, let's go beat Toxic Attraction. That's essentially it. Cora and Roxanne's, their verbiage is a little bit awkward. It kind of comes across like two high schoolers talking. A little bit strange. So Tiffany Stratton makes her entrance, and Wendy Choo Choo bounces around a frickin' bouncy ball in pajamas, and wrestling continues to die a little bit in WWE. It is nothing against the talent. This is stupid bullshit. If I hate the Orange Cassidy stuff, if I hate some of the comedic stuff in New Japan, if I hate overly done, ridiculous comedy like this, it's just not, it's not going to matter what fucking company it is. This is bad for wrestling. It's a bad gimmick. And it's stupid, and the creative mind that came up with it deserves to be hit with a brick. Or maybe just a brick of soap. I don't really know. Maybe they need to... Maybe if they actually, maybe they're unclean. Stink of failure still on me. So anyway, we then go to the break, and then we get back to Apollo writing down his thoughts and his milestones in a diary in a diner. And then he beats the shit out of a guy that yells at a waitress. I don't know why, but whatever. And then, I don't really understand what this was. Fallon Henley, my fucking goodness, with Briggs and Jensen took it on Tiffany, Strattonstone, Miss As If, and look, they did some good work, but then fucking god, there was a unique spot that Stratton did, where she like got her legs around Fallon's neck, and then did a bridge. Now that was unique. It was like a weird butterfly lock. So I'll give her credit for that. And then Wendy Choo Choo, bounced down because, again, creative just doesn't fucking care about presenting this as a serious fucking product. It's stupid bullshit, and it doesn't belong in a wrestling program. And I would pull this show from the goddamn USA Network if I had the power to do so. Put it on the cock. She throws some confetti at Tiffany Stratton, so she is Randy Savage in ICW, in full view of the referee, no DQ, and roll up 1, 2, 3. I'm not even the biggest Stratton fan. She has ability. The gimmick is stupid, monumentally stupid. But fucking Christ, anytime this Wendy Choo gimmick is on television, it's embarrassing to professional wrestling. And Grimes is despondent. He's not looking for sympathy. Steiner tries to talk to him and tell him, hey, don't worry, I lost the championship too. You're going to bounce back. And then Dookie Nukie Hudson says to Steiner, well, I beat you by DQ, so how about we have a match? Yeah, sure. How about we have a rematch? And it'll be for the title. And I'll beat you quickly. I mean, he didn't say that, but that's what he ended up doing. Wesley took his entrance, or did his entrance, and we go to break. Lash Legend then has a pre-tape. She's done with St. Elmo's Fire. Talks about her track and field and basketball accolades. When the pandemic hit in the WNBA, she decided to take her talents to WWE. Apparently, she played for the Seattle Storm. See, I would know that if I followed the WNBA, that is, but I don't. That doesn't mean that people can't. But nevertheless, good for Lash Legend. Zion Quinn then lost to Wes Lee. And pretty convincingly, even though Zion basically dominated and topped him and beat him down. And I know somebody likes Zion Quinn. If they're watching this, hi, stop thinking about it. Wes Lee then hits a flip kick and a spiral tap 1, 2, 3. Thanks for coming, Zion Quinn. Again, stop thinking about it. And then Joe Wayne Gacy is with, I called them the Snuggie Boys because once somebody pointed out it's like they're wearing Snuggies. If you know what a Snuggie is, I'm sorry. That means you're older than dirt. Yeah. He talks about this is what you're going to beat up these people next. Nathan Frazier then has a video package where he grew up on something called Jersey Island, which is near France and not near England or geographically closer to France. Talks about being on the pitch, whatever the fuck that is, because I don't watch soccer or football in the civilized world. And he's gonna live his dream, and we're gonna have this to be continued. And again, I was calling them the Snuggie Boys. I'm now calling them Velvet Gaiden because they look like Ninja Gaiden if they were dressed in velvet pajamas. They beat up Dante Chen and Javier Bernal. Remember when they gave Dante Chen a backstory about honoring his dad? It was his dad or his mother. I don't exactly remember because it was a while ago. Might even been his grandfather. The whole point is he was going to honor his family. They seemed like they were doing something with him. And I know he had an injury. He was out for about a month, and then they brought him back, and now they've done nothing with him. Apparently he's on NXT Level Up, which explains why I haven't fucking seen him anywhere. It seemed like they were going to do something with him, and now he's just part of this where... Okay, we have found the new ding-dongs. Velvet Gaiden are the new ding-dongs. This is a terrible gimmick. They're having to constantly put their hoods down, even though they got their faces covered. This is stupid. This is really, really fucking stupid. They had a DDT spike 1, 2, 3. I wrote down what the fuck has happened to NXT. Goddamn stupid. Velvet Gaiden get the victory. Hooray. Man, don't give people video packages like Dante Chen if you're not going to utilize them. You had a good story. Whether it would have gone further or not, I don't know. Joe Wayne Gacy then tells us not to judge them and talks about our negativity and such and whatever. And he's a new Bray Wyatt. He's going to lose every big match that he has. So we then go back to Sangha, which I believe is his name, and he has two women that one looks like she was about the size of a skyscraper, tall-wise. She was like massively tall. And then Sangha tries to talk to Zion, who bows up at him, and he says, oh, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to stand up to me? And he stands up, and he's taller than him. I found my next opponent, ladies. Why does he have two women with him? I mean, whatever. What is his gimmick? Is he just somebody that goes around picking fights with people? Whatever. Nikita's, partially torn MCL is healing. She will be coming back soon. They knew exactly what they were doing with these camera shots. Also, she could choose better music rather than, storming Capitol rap. If you heard it, you heard it. And I would like to say, whoever that band is, fuck them. I'm sorry that their parents, decided to reproduce and give their mother giving birth to them. Because, in all honesty, if you were going to support storming the Capitol, you're a fucking asshole, you're a fucking coward, you're unpatriotic, you're not American, and you don't fucking deserve to be here at all. D'Angelo then is going to promote Stacked and Two Dimes. It's funny because Troy Donovan, aka Two Dimes, got taken away. He got released during the tour, a policy violation or something. But since these were taped, basically his career continues to live on for this week and next week. It's fucking incredible. This is a terrible feud and terrible TV. And I don't know why he gave him gold watches. This was a long segment. And then Hayes and Tricky Williams show up, basically to just try and do something. And they're going to face off against Stacks and Two Dimes later. We are in Toxic Attraction's box. JC Jane, my goodness. Steiner then beat Dookie Nukie Hudson in about 2 minutes, maybe not even that, and retain the NXT championship. Grimes shows up and basically says if you didn't have that last name, you wouldn't be champion. He respects him, but he's tired of waiting in line. He wants next. They're going to have a match at the Great American Bash. I just summarized all of that. Ivy then praises Tatum's hard work. Strong then basically calls out her hypocrisy. You've been knocking her for a while. Why is Roderick Strong talking on a wrestling program? He can't fucking talk at all. He's not a cunning linguist, as it were. Okay, this was bad. Diamond Mine should not be a thing anymore. It just shouldn't. It should have never been a thing to begin with, in all honesty. And then we... Okay, so we have live tour clips because they had to post-produce them and put them in. And then we have Robert Stone, Sophia Cromwell, and Von Wagner. I ask once again, and I'm going to ask every single goddamn week, why is the Geico Caveman, aka Heavy Metal Von Wagner, on my television? Why is he on any wrestling program? He's not any good. Sophia says that Von Wagner will beat Briggs. I believe Briggs next week. I don't know. I don't care. And then Giovanni Vinci makes his debut, getting the male model catwalk, on the catwalk entrance, and beats a guy named Guru Raj quickly. Okay. I don't know why he has a male model gimmick. Oh, wait. Max Dupree has a male model agency thing, except that's on another show that's probably going to end up going tits up because WWE tends to get upset and get rid of people. I don't know why they keep changing people's gimmicks. Like, why get invested in anything when they're going to change it in a few weeks or a few months and say, hey, we know you like this person this way, whatever. So Waller ends up interrupting Solo Sikoa, and they're going to have a match next week. Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing with Solo Sikoa, and apparently they are bound and determined to put Grayson Waller on my television every week. So Grimes interrupts Team BBC. Hey, you may have had a title shot, but you lost. You need to work harder. You have great talent. What the hell are you doing wanting to go to the club? Grimes is apparently now being a whiny little bit. Grimes is a good enough talker, and him being a heel isn't the worst thing, but I don't know. It's just such a sudden change. Oh, he lost the championship, and now he's just going to knock everybody for losing. But if you won, then you could knock everybody for losing and it would look a lot better. You could have had an ego about the North American title, whatever. Stacks and Two Dimes lost to Hayes and Tricky Williams. Because I like Hayes, and Williams and him have a good dynamic. I don't care about this Tony D'Angelo stuff. And I feel bad because the guy's not bad, but I don't care. There's interference that backfired because Legoland accidentally hit one of the guys in the leg drop 1, 2, 3. I say once again, Hayes is going to have to come up with another finisher because his spine is going to hate him in 5 to 7 years. Backstage, Tony yells at Legoland. I say once again, this is bad television. Indy, Cora, and Roxanne took on Toxic Attraction. It was given a good amount of time. JC Jane steals the show every goddamn time. There was a lot of good stuff in this ring. And I mean that in both ways. Seriously, I mean, the faces, they were trying hard, they were working hard, there's lots of potential there. Toxic Attraction as a gimmick works, and JC Jane again stealing the goddamn show every single time. It did get a little bit awkward. We got a melee, and then we got a flush senton, just Cora landing right on her, and then tags Roxanne to pin Gigi for some reason. I don't fucking get why. Nevertheless, the match certainly happened. We'll see what happens at Great American Bash in 3 weeks. Literally in 3 weeks. It's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah, interesting. That's the way to look at it. But at least we got somebody on a fucking bouncy ball in pajamas, and we got Von Wagner. That's always a good thing. But we here at Price is Right Wrestling would like to remind you to control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.